Guys, I literally have the worst cramps I've had in a very long time. And I am trying my best right now to not let these things get the best of me because oh child, these these cramps, I tell ya. Not fun, not fun at all. Today, I wanted to talk about 2023 and the rising signs that might attract quite nice opportunities or blessings next year. Next year, we are actually going to be having a North Node and Jupiter conjunction, both in the sign of Taurus. So I'm actually really excited for that transit because in my own studies, I've noticed that a lot of people that tend to be very lucky or very fortunate tend to have their North Node aspecting Jupiter in their chart. So I can only imagine what happens when in regards to that when the North Node is conjunct to Jupiter. You know, there tends to be a lot of expansion, a lot of abundance, a lot more opportunities when those two planets meet. Especially because think about it this way. The North Node, yes, it can represent like your life purpose and your life path, but it also represents the amplifications of something and the exacerbation of something. So like whatever the North Node is conjunct to, it amplifies that energy. So when the North Node is conjunct to Jupiter, that could expand your luck, your good fortune, and the abundance that you attract into your life. But even outside of that, you know, whenever the North Node is conjunct to Jupiter, that could also exacerbate and really expand your knowledge, your wisdom, and the information that you learn. So not only is next year going to be a year where a lot of people come to like really significant realizations, but it's also going to be a year where a lot of you learn a lot of things that help you to grow exponentially next year. So I am so excited for this transit. And in this video, I wanted to talk about specific rising signs that might attract more good luck and good fortune into their life. So if you're interested in watching that, and if you want to know if your rising sign is going to be mentioned in this video, then keep on watching. All right. So if you have a Taurus rising, next year might be quite nice for you. Next year might be a time of your life where you grow a lot. It might be a time where you feel more optimistic about yourself and your life and where your life is going. It might also be a year where people start to acknowledge you as like a very wise person, even more so than now. People might realize, wait, you have a lot of good knowledge, and you're a person that I could really learn things from. Right? And that's because you're going to be having that North Node and Jupiter conjunction there in your first house. And the first house it represents you. It represents how people perceive you and how people how people think about you and feel about you, especially on a first impressions basis. But then Jupiter is that planet of growth, expansion, good luck, good fortune, wisdom, teachers, gurus, guides, those types of things. Jupiter also does really well in the first house because Jupiter gets something called directional strength. So directional strength in astrology refers to a planet that feels very strong in a certain house, but it also refers to a planet that feels like it's headed in the right direction. And because of that feeling, that could give you favorable results. So that might be a really nice time for you. You might also really start to attract like good luck and good fortune into your life, literally from just like being yourself, being authentic to who you are as a person. You might just notice that people just like offer you things because they just really like your energy and just feel very called to like get to know you or just like give you things, right? So that's the nice thing about having Jupiter in the first house, is that it really expands your image. It really expands who you are as a person, and it really expands your aura and your energy. And people are really going to feel that, especially because the North Node is going to be conjunct to Jupiter. And again, the North Node, yes, it represents like your life purpose and your life path, but it also represents the amplifications of something and the exacerbation of something. So whenever the North Node is conjunct to a planet, it really amplifies that energy and like takes it from like level 1 to like level 100. So next year might be really quite nice for that. Speaking of your life purpose though, next year might be a time where a lot of you, especially that have Taurus risings, might really start to find a sense of purpose, and you might start to really feel like you're headed in the right direction in your life. You know, you might really learn a lot about life in general that helps to open up your mind to new possibilities and just, You might have some really insightful learning lessons and life lessons that you learn that just help you to kind of see life differently, but also help you to realize like what you want to do with your life and who you want to be as a person. So there just might be like a lot of realizations for you next year, but you know, your luck might really increase next year. So I'm really excited for you guys, and I really hope that next year works well for you. But yes, if you have a Taurus rising, let me know down below in the comment section. And yeah, let me know how you feel about next year. So the next rising sign that might have a very prosperous and successful year are Cancer risings. Y'all are in for a treat. This is because this North Node and Jupiter conjunction will be taking place in your 11th house. And the 11th house is a house that represents like your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, incoming financial gains, financial increases, your network circles and your friends, your acquaintances, you know, followers, supporters, community support, innovations, new ideas. You know, so the fact that you guys are going to be having this conjunction in your 11th house next year shows that there's a heightened potential for you guys to make more money next year. There's also a lot more of an opportunity and potential for you guys to make a really significant dream of yours become a reality. So I definitely would advise for you guys next year to really focus on something that you've always been dreaming of, or really focus on, or just like really focus on something that you've always been wanting to do, because next year is the time to do it. Okay, so I really want you guys to stay focused next year, irrespective of whatever people have to say. I want you to focus on putting your goals first, no matter how big they are. You know, no matter how daunting it seems, I want you guys to focus on you and your goals and what you want to achieve for yourself, because there's going to be a lot of potential for you guys next year to make it happen. Now, next year might also be a time when you guys start to make more money, especially through networking. So I really want you guys to focus on going to more workshops, more seminars, more events, spend more time in a community-based environment, because that's what the 11th house represents. The 11th house represents community, society, large events, large groups, seminars, workshops, events. Okay, so I really want you guys to focus on immersing yourself in those types of environments, because you never know who you're going to meet, right? You never know who you might meet during that time, especially with that conjunction and that transit happening. So that might be quite nice. So definitely get your name out there. Also, if any of you who have Cancer risings have really been thinking about starting a social media channel, like a YouTube channel, a TikTok account, a Twitter account, an Instagram account, whatever it is, you have the potential next year to really gain notoriety, because the North Node represents the amplifications of something, and then Jupiter is the expansion of something. It represents like where you could find abundance. So when two of those energies align and are conjunct with each other, it exacerbates its energies together, which could really help you to like blow up, especially online, right? So it just really helps to amplify your potential and your influence, especially when both of those energies are in the 11th house. So if you do have an interest in like starting a social media account next year, I'd recommend that you go for it, because I think that people would really gravitate towards your energy for sure. My gosh, my cramps. My cramps. Oh my gosh. Whew. Oh my gosh. And you know what's so ironic about this? While I'm having these cramps, like I'm thinking about eating a sandwich and just having like some nice bread, and I just feel like that's just gonna make my cramps worse. Oh my God. On the day I have to film is the day I have horrible cramps. Like, are you literally serious right now? It's no fun. No fun at all. No fun at all. Anyways, guys, I'm really sorry. Back to regular scheduled programming. And the one thing that's also going to be quite nice for Cancer rising is that next year might also be a time where you guys make more friends, meet a lot of new people. So if you've been kind of feeling a little bit lonely, or you've just been kind of feeling like you've been wanting to meet more people, next year might be the time where you might make new friends and just have more people to reach out to. And that's because the 11th house is associated also with like your friends and your acquaintances and your network circles. So that might also be really nice. One thing that's also going to be really quite nice for you guys is that there is a higher potential of you guys meeting someone that could provide you with an opportunity next year, or like you just might end up making friends with people that offer you things or just like provide you with an opportunity to like reach a goal, or for you just to like attain or acquire something. So that's also going to be quite nice. I'm excited for you Cancer risings, honestly. Like, y'all are like the breadwinners, y'all are probably going to be the breadwinners of next year. Like, that's going to be really nice for you. And really take advantage of this transit and this conjunction, because this conjunction does not happen very often. Like, yeah, does not happen very often. So like whenever I see these types of transits or conjunctions happening, like I have to like make people aware of it, because it's like, okay, this is happening. So like you need to go out there and like take advantage of this energy, right? So like, yes, like the one thing I always tell people is like, yes, the transit is happening, but you still have to go out there and make the work happen. Like you still have to go out there and make an effort to like achieve whatever it is that you want. But the nice thing is that like, if you put in that effort towards whatever that goal that you have for yourself, that energy can support you and lift your dreams. You know, it can lift you up and get you to a higher place in life. So I definitely recommend for you guys that have a Cancer rising for next year. Anyways, I really hope that next year is great for you guys, and I'm really excited for y'all, and I'm wishing you nothing but the best for 2023. Love you. So the next rising sign that might have a really abundant and blessed year are Virgo risings. So this next year might be a really nice time for you guys, because you're going to be having this conjunction happening in your 9th house. So the 9th house is a house that Jupiter traditionally rules over. So Jupiter tends to do well in the 9th house. You know, whenever a planet is in its own house and it's transiting that house, it feels comfortable. So that could give you guys some favorable results. But in terms of the blessings for you guys next year could be quite nice for you in terms of traveling opportunities. So like you guys might do like a lot more traveling next year. Also, that could be quite nice for any of you who are in college, because that energy and that conjunction in your 9th house could help to increase your chances of getting like nice scholarship opportunities. That's because the 9th house is associated with like traveling, you know, other places around the world, but it also is associated with like higher education and higher learning, as well as scholarships. So, you know, if there's an opportunity to like apply for a scholarship next year, I'd recommend that you go for it. See what happens. Now, the one thing that's also going to be quite nice for you guys is that next year might also be a time where you decide to attract more luck into your life. On top of that, it also could be a time when you feel more fortunate. You might feel more grateful for your life. You just might feel more optimistic and more hopeful and just happier in general. That's because the 9th house is also associated with how fortunate we might be in this life, our luck, you know, how grateful we feel. It's associated with gratitude, so that's why I was just mentioning those things. The 9th house is also associated with like our hope, our optimism, and our own personal happiness. So whenever the North Node is in the 9th house, especially conjunct to Jupiter, that could really help to amplify those 9th house themes, which could help you in terms of like a, you know, on a more personal level. That could help to increase those feelings of gratitude, happiness, optimism, you know, joy, those types of things. So that might be quite nice for you. Virgo risings might also notice that they learn a lot more next year. So that could be a time where you might take on more courses at school, or you might just learn more things just through like traveling and just keeping an open mind. So by the end of next year, you might be like realizing that you just learned a lot and you've just like grown a lot because of the wisdom and the knowledge and, you know, the information that you've acquired throughout the year. So that in of itself might also be a really nice thing for you guys. I also would not be surprised if some of you also end up just taking other courses. Like, it doesn't even have to be like in a traditional educational system, or like it doesn't even have to be like a traditional course that you take in college or university. This could be like some type of other like certification course, or just something that you just take for fun. Like, I just feel like with the energy of that conjunction happening in your 9th house, you just might feel more inspired to just like take fun courses where then you end up learning something that helps to open up your mind and provide you with the happiness that you're looking for. So that might also be quite nice for you guys. In terms of other things for you guys next year, this next year might also be a time where like you learn more about your grandparents and just like learn more about different aspects of your own culture as well, because that's what the ninth house can also represent. The ninth house can be associated with like your grandparents and different aspects of your own culture, religion, or spiritual practice. So there might be like an increase of that. So I would not be surprised if some of you guys end up just like becoming more skilled and like well-versed when it comes to like your own personal spiritual practices, or just like you just might end up learning more about your own personal religion, or just like, you know, your own like personal spiritual beliefs. So like I just would not be surprised if you guys just end up getting to the next level in that sense. But overall though, one of my recommendations for you guys next year is just to practice more gratitude, you know, really establish a connection with that, because that's also going to keep you guys in a good state of mind. It'll help you to feel happier. Definitely learn as much as you can next year, you know. Always remember that knowledge is power. Knowledge is it truly is a source of your own personal growth. So never be afraid to learn new things, and never be afraid to put yourself in a position to be a student, you know. Don't be afraid to do that. Also, one thing I did want to mention to you guys, especially those that have Virgo risings, is that next year might also be a year where you also teach people. So you might find yourself in a position of teaching a class of people, or maybe a person, or maybe just like a small group of people. You just might end up teaching people next year. So if you have an interest in like starting your own course or coaching people, or you literally want to be a teacher of some sort, next year could be a time when, you know, you might end up doing that, and the universe might really support that decision. So I think that might be quite nice for you guys, and I think that in of itself might be a really great learning experience, not only for your students but also for yourself. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, some of you might really benefit next year from getting more involved with like marketing or advertising or public relations. So if that also does interest you, I definitely recommend that you definitely like look more into it, because you could attract opportunities that can help you to really rise within those industries and help you to succeed. This also ties into other related fields. Like if you have an interest in like book writing, or also even getting involved with things like working in tech related fields or like science related fields, next year could also be a time where you like attract opportunities that could help you to like really thrive in those environments. So if that does interest you, I definitely would recommend that you get into that. Also, if you have an interest in like aviation, also teaching as well, as I mentioned just earlier, you could also find success working in those types of fields as well. So definitely something to pay attention to for sure. Anyways, guys, I really hope that you have a lovely 2023. I definitely think that you will. And I'm rooting for you guys. I'm 100% rooting for you guys, and I'm so excited for you guys for next year. Anyways, guys, I love you. I really hope that this helped, and I will see you later. Bye. So the next rising sign that might attract more good luck and good fortune into their life are Capricorn risings. Whoop, 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 whoop. Love that. So next year, you will be having this North Node and Jupiter conjunction in your 5th house. So Jupiter does tend to do very well in the 5th house, because this is a significator of the 5th house. So whenever Jupiter comes into the 5th house, that could give you favorable results. So the one thing that might also be quite nice for you guys is that during this time, you might start to reap the benefits of a past life deed, like a past life good deed that you did in a past life. This is because the 5th house in astrology is associated with many things, like your past life deeds. And so when Jupiter transits the 5th house, that could indicate that you could end up receiving some type of reward or opportunity from something good that you did in a past life. So that could be something that you guys might experience. Having this North Node and Jupiter conjunction in your 5th house could also be quite nice for you, especially if you want to pursue something creative with your life, and you really want to work in the entertainment industry, or especially if you guys want to be, if any of you want to like really pursue singing next year, or start a podcast, or like really get involved with voice acting, next year might be a really good time to do that, because we will be having this conjunction in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus is associated with like your voice, singers, podcasts, voice actors, those types of things. So like when the North Node is conjunct to Jupiter within, you know, that sign there, that really helps to amplify the possibility of like you pursuing that and finding success within that field. So I definitely do like that a lot. Having that North Node and Jupiter conjunction in the 5th house could also be quite nice for you if you want to make money through speculation. So like, investing into stocks, day trading, those types of things. But that is not financial advice, okay? So like if you've been interested in that, definitely talk to a financial advisor about that, because not a financial advisor. But if that is up your alley and you do want to learn more about it and make money through that, talk to a financial advisor, study as much as you can, and never invest money that you're not willing to lose. But at the end of the day, like, that transit could help to increase your chances of like making money in that sense, because it is associated with the 5th house, right? So there's that. So that might be kind of cute for you guys. Having that North Node and Jupiter conjunction also means that your love life might also get a nice boost as well. Definitely would not be surprised if some of you who are single might end up meeting someone that's from a different country or a different place. That could also increase your chances of like meeting someone that teaches you a lot of things, and vice versa. So like, you might end up meeting someone that you teach them a lot of things, and like they might teach you a lot of things as well. If you are in a relationship though, that conjunction in your 5th house does indicate that next year might be a time where you and your partner might go on vacation, because the 5th house is also associated with like vacations and honeymoons, those types of things. So like, if you and your partner have really been thinking about going somewhere next year could be a really cute time for that, which again could really help your relationship to grow and to flourish, because Jupiter's all about abundance and growth. So there might be growth in that sector of your life as well. So that might be kind of nice. That might be kind of cute. So I definitely do like that a lot. But yeah, I definitely do like that. I definitely do like this transit for people that want to pursue something creative, because the 5th house represents your creativity and your artistic expression and the entertainment industry. So there might be like expansion in that area of your life. Even tying into that, like, even if you don't want to work in the entertainment industry, that transit and that conjunction can be really nice for you to like learn new creative skills or adopt like a new artistic hobby. Even just like in terms of the 5th house in general, like that conjunction in your 5th house could also help you to do like a lot of childhood healing, which could then, inspire you to like go back to like a creative or artistic hobby that you really enjoyed as a child. It might be a time where like you start to pursue something that you've been wanting to do since you were a child as well. So like, there might be like a lot of growth in that sense as well. So I definitely do like to, see that for you guys for sure. But yeah, I definitely do think that next year might be a time where like you receive opportunities that bring a lot of happiness and joy and creative inspiration into your life. And I think that there's going to be quite a few scenarios and situations where you just reap the benefits of, the possible good things that you did in a past life. So I'm excited for you guys, and I know that next year is most likely going to be quite nice and prosperous for you guys. So I'm excited. Whoop, 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 whoop. Anyways, guys, really excited for you guys for 2023, and I know that next year is most likely going to be quite nice for you. So hang in there. I believe in you. Love you. Bye. So the next rising sign that might have a very abundant and prosperous year are Aquarius risings. Woo, 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 woo. So next year, you will be having this North Node and Jupiter conjunction happening in your 4th house. Which can be a quite cute placement. Jupiter does really well in the 4th house. And so the one thing that's going to be quite nice for you guys is that it's not only going to be you that might be attracting more luck into your life, it might be your family, because that's what the 4th house represents. It represents like your family's assets, your family's wealth, those types of things. And so when the North Node, which represents the amplifications of something, is conjunct to Jupiter, which is the planet of abundance, good luck, and good fortune, that could help to expand your family's assets, your wealth, their wealth, and their own personal luck. So this might be a good time for you and your family next year. And I'm really excited about that. In terms of other things though, this could be a year where you guys move around a little bit more. Or it also means that you guys might visit more cities next year, because yes, the 4th house can represent like your family and like your home environment and moving, but it also can be associated with cities and different places. So there might be like more places and more cities that you end up visiting and traveling to next year. So that might be quite nice for you guys. In terms of other things, you guys might also learn a lot more about your own family history, your family ancestry. Some of you might also find an interest in cooking and baking next year, and you guys might learn a lot of new recipes and really like surprise yourself with the things that you create and make for yourself. If you also have an interest in like learning more about cooking or baking next year can be a fantastic time to take courses about that, just because Jupiter is, it is associated with like your good luck and your good fortune and abundance and expansion of things, but it also is associated with like learning new things and courses and types of courses. And then when Jupiter does transit the fourth house can represent cooking or baking. That could be a nice time for you guys to like take like a culinary course or go to culinary school. So that might be quite nice for you guys. One thing I also want to talk about is that next year might also be a time where like you could possibly make money from investing into real estate or just like becoming a real estate agent. Again, this is not financial advice, okay? Because, there's a lot of things that I do not know about in regards to, the housing market. But with the nature of the fourth house being associated with real estate, investing into real estate, and the aspect of Jupiter there, that could increase your chances of making money in that sense. But again, please always talk to a financial advisor about these things, because I am not a financial advisor. But yes, if you do have an interest in learning about real estate or getting into real estate, next year could be a time where you could do that and find success and prosperity from doing that. So there is that. Like what I was saying before about moving, some of you might move quite a bit next year, or some of you might move into a bigger place next year. So like if you've been really trying to focus on getting a bigger space for yourself next year could be a time where, you have the potential to move into a bigger house or into like a bigger condo or like a bigger apartment. So there just might be an expansion in regards to your home life or your home environment. In terms of other things, next year could also be a time where some of you might get more furniture, more appliances, and just things to decorate your home. Because the fourth house is also associated with like things that go within your home, or like, decorators or even interior designers, which ties into my next point. If any of you have an interest in learning more about interior designing, or you have an interest in literally getting involved with interior designing, that could be a year where you could find success from doing that and finding an opportunity that could help you to get involved with that industry. But in other words, though, like some of you just might have a more concrete interest in interior designing. So you guys just might end up learning more about that next year. Now, next year might also be a time where your parents and other people within your family might learn more. So your family members might be more open-minded next year, or they just might end up learning things that really help to open up their mind and just like learn new skills and just like have like more wisdom. So you just might notice that, like, your parents might come to you about something that you never thought that they would know about or care about, and you just might be surprised. You might be like, wait, what? Like, how do you know about that? Or like, where did you learn that type of information from? Like, you might have like those types of experiences next year, especially in regards to your family and your parents. So there is that. Some of you might also be traveling next year to your home country or a place that your family is from, because the fourth house again is associated with like your family roots. Jupiter is the planet of traveling and going to other places. So would not be surprised if some of you end up visiting a place that your family or your parents are from. So that might also be a really nice like learning lesson for you, and it might be like a very great learning experience, and it might be really fun. So there's that. But yes, definitely excited for you guys for next year as well in regards to this transit. I know that next year might be quite nice for you, and I'm rooting for you, and I'm wishing nothing but the best for you guys, and I'm sending you all my love. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this, and let me know if you have an Aquarius rising down below in the comment section. And the last rising sign that might have an abundant and prosperous 2023, drum roll please. Sorry, that was lame. Gemini risings, baby. You are the rising sign that might have a higher potential and opportunity to have a prosperous and abundant 2023. So this conjunction is taking place in your 12th house. Now, let's get something straight and let's get something clear. The 12th house is not all challenging, guys. The 12th house can be very beautiful. It can be very spiritual and very healing. And those are probably going to be some very evident themes that you experience next year. So The North Node in astrology represents the amplifications of something or the increases of something, while Jupiter is that planet of abundance, expansion, good luck, and good fortune. So when Jupiter comes into the 12th house, that could increase your chances of receiving things and blessings, because that's what the 12th house can be associated with. You guys might receive blessings and opportunities from the universe, okay? So next year, some of you guys might have these experiences or these opportunities come to you that shock you in a way. You're like, wait, okay, and now I have this in my life, but like, how did I get here? Like, how the hell did I get here? Like, how the hell did I receive this? Like, this is just crazy. Like, yes, I'm glad that I have this opportunity, but like, I can't believe this is just happening. And like, that's what the nature of the 12th house is, and that's the nature of like when Jupiter, you know, transits the 12th house. Because remember, guys, Jupiter is the traditional ruling planet of the 12th house. Okay, so Jupiter can do well in the 12th house, okay? It can do well in the 12th house. You know, Jupiter in the 12th house it's like the guardian angel placement. So like people that have Jupiter in their 12th house natally, in their natal chart, usually have run into situations that could have been very unfortunate, but they were saved from it. You know, people that have Jupiter in their 12th house usually have some type of story or experience where they were saved from something, or they avoided like something that could have been really disastrous or like really bad. Not bad, but like really challenging. Okay, so like that in of itself might be something that you experience next year. Now, in terms of other things though, next year might be a time where your spiritual abilities and your intuition and your psychic abilities get so much stronger. Like, it's probably going to get to the point where you start to be able to see into the future. You know, it also might get to a point where like you will literally be able to like read people's minds, and just like you guys might just receive like a lot of spiritual downloads next year, right? So like you guys might pick up on information and just like be able to see things where you're not really sure where you picked it up from, but that information might do you very well, right? It might really benefit you in the long run. So like you might just know things or just like receive information about things that really help to benefit you. And that could also tie into other things like ideas, right? What I really want you guys to do for next year is to get a dream journal, okay? Because your dreams are most likely going to be very vivid and very prophetic and very intense next year. Your spirit guides and even like people that have passed on might really start to come to you in a dream and just like give you ideas or like give you solutions or give you strategies on how you can navigate a sticky or a challenging situation. And when you have those types of dreams, I need you guys to have a journal, a designated journal, to write down what transpired in your dreams and the ideas and strategies and solutions that you received from those particular dreams. It will do you well. You will thank me later. I promise you. Now, next year might also be a time of massive spiritual growth and a lot of healing as well, because the 12th house is associated with like our spirituality, our spiritual abilities, our own spiritual growth and development. So there might be that. The 12th house is also associated with personal self-development, because think about it this way. Yes, the 12th house can be associated with losses of things and isolation, and it also can be associated with hardship, right? However, though, whenever you go through moments of isolation or you go through challenging moments in your life, you always come out of it stronger. You always end up coming out of it a new and revived person, and that's what the 12th house is all about. Yes, there might be times next year where you feel kind of isolated or you just feel as though like you're kind of, you know, confused about your path. But those are going to be situations that help you to bring you to the light and help you to realize certain things, right? So you're going to learn so much more about yourself through doing a lot of self-reflection and having more time with yourself. And because of those experiences, you are going to grow exponentially. There's going to be so much self-growth that happens in those moments of isolation and those moments of being with yourself that you're going to be very grateful that you had those moments with yourself and you had that time to think and just be in your own solitude. Now, next year might also be a time when you do more traveling, but more specifically though, some of you might travel to very uncommon places or places that are not very touristy, because the 12th house can be associated with traveling, guys. Like, don't forget that. But the 12th house is more associated with like foreign lands, foreign travels, places that are more uncommon and places that are very spiritual. So like think about it this way. The 9th house is 100% associated with traveling, but think about it this way. The ninth house is associated with like more common places, so like places like Miami, places like Los Angeles, places like that, places that get an abundance of people, versus the 12th house is associated with like countries like Iceland or Greenland, or just like other places that just don't get too many tourists going to them, right? However, though, do you ever notice that like when people visit uncommon places like that, it tends to be a very spiritual experience for them? It tends to be an experience that teaches them a lot of things, right? And it tends to be a place that helps to heal them in a way. It helps them to grow spiritually and emotionally and mentally. And so quite a few of you might have those types of experiences next year. So I definitely do think that could be quite nice. So another lesson that some of you Gemini risings might learn next year is the importance of letting things go and not being afraid to lose things. So next year, some of you might realize that sometimes the universe will take something away from you so that you can get something better in return. So you guys are going to have to master the art of letting go and surrendering and trusting in the universe. That's going to be a huge lesson for you guys next year, especially with Jupiter being there. But I think that a lot of you are going to appreciate that next year as well. So that might be a really important lesson for you guys to learn. I think that a lot of you are going to master that next year, which is going to be quite exciting and quite nice. Now, next year might also be a very creative and artistic time for you Gemini risings. So some of you might really get involved with music. Some of you might also really get involved with dancing next year. So if that does interest you, I would definitely take that up and learn as much as you can about music or dancing or just like creating things. So it might be a very creative and artistic time for you. That is because the 12th house is associated with creativity and music and dancers. And then Jupiter and the North Node will be in Taurus, and Taurus is all about art and creativity. So it's an amplification of that energy. So definitely would recommend that you focus more on your art and your creativity, especially on days when you're not feeling good, when you're not feeling happy. I want you guys to focus on letting art be a healthy escape for you guys, like a healthy coping mechanism. Because next year, I have a feeling that a lot of you are going to create some of the most beautiful pieces of art you've ever created. So I think that might be quite nice for you guys. But yeah, other than that, I think that next year might be a very healing time for you, a very spiritual time for you. It might be a time of, receiving a lot of blessings and help from the universe. I'd also recommend that a lot of you tap more into meditation next year, especially if you want to manifest things. So the 12th house can also be associated with meditation. So like, definitely would recommend that you get more involved with meditation and visualization, because the more you do it and the more you strengthen that ability, the more stuff you can attract into your life. I'm literally like really stressing that to you guys. I think that by the end of that transit and by the end of next year, you guys are going to become manifestation masters and the masters of meditation. You guys are going to be attracting a lot of things, and it's going to surprise you. You're going to be like, whoa, like I attracted this into my life. Like I attracted this blessing into my life. Like that's crazy. Like I have a pretty strong feeling that a lot of you are going to have those types of moments and those types of epiphanies. So there's that. Anyways, guys, I'm excited for you guys for next year. You guys are going to grow a lot, and I think that next year is going to be prosperous for you. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that, you learned from this, and I'm rooting for you, and I believe in you, okay? I love you. Bye. Anyways, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Like, let me know what your rising sign is, and let me know if you're excited for 2023. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really hope that this helped, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!